Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. Glad to see you today. Well, here's a new one for the symbol book. Kind of a mixture of triangle, pyramid, X's. Standing here looking at it for a minute, trying to see how it is in relation to the rest of the area around it. Right at the base of, or right at the point of it, I guess, is that pinned arch. And if you look up in there, I'm going to back up to see the curvature of it. So it's got to have a specific reason for that point in particular. I'm going to have to figure out what that is.
See more ground glyphs up in front of it and more arches in front of it. And this, from where I'm standing, almost looks like a huge door. The way that it squares up.
Yeah. Well, let's get on back there.
All right.
We have toughed it out through the summer heat, all the ticks, copperheads, and mosquitoes, and finally got down into the 40s this morning.
It's crisp. Feels good.
I think we'll get on over there to that first tree, and I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod and we'll sit down and have a little chit chat for a minute. All right. Well, it's early. A cup and a half of coffee into it and still getting the thoughts formulated and percolating up into my brain. Wanted to sit the camera down for a few minutes just to have a processing moment. Over the past couple weeks, they've been really active making all of these new symbols and structures and prepping up for something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to reevaluate the expansiveness of the situation here. and we look at all of this stuff and show it to you, and it's kind of neat, but in reality it's like showing you a few grains of sand without seeing the entirety of the beach.
A lot to cover.
Yeah, this is October. Forever people have focused on, celebrated, or acknowledged the fall equinox, Samhain, All Hallows Eve, Halloween, whatever name you want to put on it. But it's all in agreement that it's the time of the year when the veil is at its thinnest point to access different realities, dimensions, layers, energies. That's all well, good, and fine, except this entire year has been a thinning down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the fall is going to bring this year. And that might have been part of what kind of kick-started it so quickly for us, was that we hit it right at that perfect time of year.
So back to the thought of Halloween, everyone agrees that that is that most active time of the year. So you can acknowledge and agree to that. It shouldn't be too far of a leap to understand that all of these doorways that we find out here are interdimensional, multi-dimensional, going through layers and all of that. People want to know how stuff works. You've heard us mention several times about vibration and frequencies and all of that, and there's only so many ways that you can say it, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. But if you laid sand on a board and played music on it, it would create a vibrational pattern according to the tone or the pitch of the music. It's the same way with these doorways. The Sasquatch have several vocal cords in relation to what humans have. They're able to hit frequencies and pitch that we can't hear, or sounds that we can't copy without using some type of instrument or computer generated device or whatever.
And we're aware of the infrasound, but I think they also have an ultrasound.
And a lot of people don't want to hear it, or they get completely bent out of shape when we talk about the woo factor of all of it. That is a ridiculous word in and by itself. It's just an animal that can't have any ability to do anything like that. Well, a closed mind is the highest form of ignorance that there is out there. If you're not willing to at least look at something and consider it, then there's no help for you. Repeatedly, I don't know how many times a week I hear, we want to know, we want to see, we want to see, we want to know. And then when we start taking you down that rabbit hole to show you,
it gets crazy.
So you either do or you don't.
And it's all a part of the process, but Uncle said there's still a lot of fence riders, and I believe he's right. And part of why and surprisingly, they've taken it to the level they have with both of us, both channels, in trying to display themselves as safely as possible. But he said, the feeling that comes back to me on it is there are just so many still that are playing both sides to meet the middle. And even he has taken a momentary pause to try to decide what the best avenue is, because he has tried in so many ways to explain vibration, to explain frequency, to explain as much about who they are as he's been able. And he says, still, people want to reside in the fear, and you can't change that. You can't change the innate nature, is what he says.
And when I say we have to reevaluate the expansiveness of our entanglement, we are so far beyond past showing little things that might seem like huge things to others, that we have got to take a leap forward from this position. You know, last time we were out here on the day walk, we showed you the wheel in the back, and it had shifted and changed again. That's another indication of another cycle, another shift, another level.
And a lot of the glyphs, I'm getting that a lot of the glyphs and structures that are out here are they're very symbolic of the transitions that are happening. And that all of these external signs are a reflection of what's going on in the internal process.
So anyway, we are going to continue doing our walks out here several times a week and taking care of the trees and doing all of that. But it's time to really start stepping up the game as far as all of the other aspects and elements of it are concerned. So buckle up, babies. It's time to start the roller coaster.
Well, and what we don't want, regardless as to the channel, one way or another, what we don't want is to give signature to resigning or becoming complacent in what we've learned. You know, we want to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep showing them that we can handle more, that we can learn. And with the gifting, it's gotten, you know, a lot of people have really gotten tripped up about this gifting thing. And I have to say, it's very important to understand the gifting for us is an exchange. They give to us all the time. No cost, no expectation of return, really. We bring gifts, show them how much we appreciate their endeavors. Whether they have anything else to do or not is a whole nother conversation. But they find it important to invest in us, and reciprocally, we find it important to say thank you. There is no expectation in the gifting. I feel that if we were in a position where we couldn't gift and we had that conversation with them, they would truly understand that. So this is not about buying them. You can't do that. You are never going to buy their attention. This is simply gratitude. And we have to come from a place of gratitude when we are out here, a place of respect. And that's just a little sign, that's just a little symbol of that. Some people have had a difficult time with gifting, and I think it's because they've come from the wrong energy in it. Personal opinion.
And the ones that keep commenting, oh, the gifting's going to backfire and you're going to have all of these terrible experiences. Well, obviously you've missed the entirety of the point from the word go.
For us, we felt that it was important to offer a thank you. It's just an interactive thing that we do with them. They know this, we know this, but it's not all that's interactive. And if we could not do it, I do not feel that there would be retaliation. So.
Well, what have we got on the menu today?
Oh, we got skinny popcorn. We've got apples, peanut butter, sardines, stew, their cereal mix, some little cheddar goldfish crackers and some snacks, regular popcorn.
I think they'll like that vegetable stew. They wipe out all of it any other time. So.
Yeah.
But if you're curious about where we were sitting at on that night video for the drawing, we were right here on this log. Or I was here on this log. She was all over the place. So then you ask yourself, how does sound, vibration, and frequency open up a doorway or alter something for something to move in and out and pass through? You stop and consider that everything you see in this camera right now, all of these trees, the brush, everything else, all of the matter that it's made of, once you take out all of the empty space, can be reduced down to the size of something that would fit on the head of a pin, and you would still have to use a powerful microscope to see it. There's more empty than there is physical to everything. You, me, the vehicle that you drive, the house that you live in, the woods and the cities that surround you. They're all just different vibrational frequencies constructing the illusion of something solid. So you go running as hard as you can head first and go into a tree. Yeah, you're going to get a big goose egg on your head and knock yourself out. It's not because your matter is running into its matter. It's the resistance of force of the frequencies.
So you have to change your frequency.
So if you want to pass through something, you have to match it.
Yep.
Whether that's going up or down in vibrational frequency.
That was something that the people showed at one time, is when they perceive, they're not as limited to time space as we are. The elementals, all these things are the same way. They have a certain ability to understand what we were just talking about, in that when they perceive that tree, they understand that that tree is, when they consider the space that they're in, they're able to remove the tree, so to speak, from their perception, so that it's not a hindrance in that energy when we perceive the tree, we perceive it as a hindrance to begin with. And like Ken said, I don't recommend going and walking into trees or walls or anything like that, but in the quantum field of it, it doesn't truly exist the way that we see it.
In the quantum realm, nothing exists in the way that our physical eyes perceive it.
Mm-mm.
Ate sardines and then put the limbs over the top of it. I'm guessing that's one of the little ones that got that then.
That's good if they're sharing with them. I wonder if those branches are still inside.
Just a
Couple.
fruit cup and a piece of a popcorn bag.
Yeah, this was loaded with branches.
Well, they've cleaned up all their stuff except for that little tiny bit.
They weren't missing a drop of that fruit. appreciate these sardines. Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
This is...
So I guess we're gonna end this one here. Basically, the message for the morning is the wheel has turned. It's time to step it up.
Yep.
We appreciate you guys coming along, and we will see you next time. Thanks.